third day then, and we are now heading from the Cover Bridge Inn, which was a pub park up, and we're now driving up to the Tan Hill Inn, which is right up on the North Yorkshire moors. It's the highest pub in England. We're currently driving through what seems to be mile upon mile of military firing ranges. There's loads of red flags up and loads of the places where they shoot things at.
Catterick.
Yeah, so it's Catterick, the army base that's up here. Oh, they need somewhere to practice, don't they?
Coming.
Yeah, there's a Sainsbury's delivery van.
Oh, that's awesome.
I just took the opportunity to spend a few minutes getting some drone shots. The old petrol pumps there.
Camping and everything.
Mm.
Wow.
There's a few vans, but it looks like there's space for us.
Yeah.
What an amazing spot. And it is just completely on its own.
It's the middle of nowhere.
Absolutely nothing else around it. Their famous snowplow. Quite level there as well.
Yeah. Excellent.
Well, we've parked up at the Tan Hill Inn, which you can see there behind us, and we're off on this walk which we found on the OS website, and it's from here down to Ravenseat, which is kind of over there.
Sun's out.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful at the moment. Incredible long views across the moors, and this walk is scheduled for about 8.5 miles, but there's every likelihood we might not do the full 8.5 miles. We might choose to make it a little bit shorter than that. the Tannhill Inn, it's crazy really to have a pub all on its own with absolutely nothing around it up here in the moors. But in fact, there used to be a mine here, and there was a whole community of people, a little village, where the miners and their families used to live. But actually that closed many, many years ago, and they demolished the buildings and the mine workings. But the pub stayed, and it's now a bit of a mecca for travellers, for bikers, people like us who want to get up here and have a base up here in the moors. A fabulous place to walk.
And the sun's come out. And I'm quite happy about that.
I've often said that I'm never really very comfortable anywhere where I can see concrete. And so by contrast, this is a place where I can't see any concrete. I'm very, very happy. This is just my sort of place.
What, being on your own?
No, not on my own, but being in a place where I can't see any concrete.
Oh, okay.
But just this wide open wilderness. Absolutely beautiful.
So it's apparently nesting time for curlews, and they actually nest in the grass, and from time to time we'll see a bird just flying off. They make quite a screechy sound, quite magnificent looking, decent sized bird with a long curled beak. And yeah, I don't know whether we'll be able to capture one. Probably not.
I think with this camera
you don't know when they're going to go, do you?
yeah, and we'll never be able to get a decent picture, so we'll paste a picture on screen so you know what we're talking about.
Yeah,
they're beautiful birds.
And they're telling us to stay on the paths because of it. Not that we'd wander off anyway, because you do find some boggy bits walking over the moor, so you don't want to be landing in one of those really. My boots are waterproof, but not my ankles.
And they also tell you to keep dogs on the lead. There's the remains of an old stone building of some sort just over there. I wonder if that's something to do with the old mining infrastructure that was around here. That
is really old, isn't it?
It's really properly old, yeah.
Look at the wood.
Wow.
Is it all right to walk on?
It's fine, I'm sure.
I'm going on it anyway. Wow. Look at that.
A lovely spot.
I love that. Oh.
We just thought we'd stop for a quick drink on this amazing spot here, but actually it's really exposed. We're getting blasted by the wind, so we're going to crack on and choose to have a rest somewhere else where it's a little bit more sheltered. Well, we thought we might need to cut our walk short today from the 8.5 miles or so that it was intended. We have had to cut it short, so we're now turned around and we're heading back that way to the pub, but not for the reason that we thought.
Yeah, so you know I said my boots were waterproof a little while ago. Well, they're not anymore because I have got a little sole issue. I've got a flappy sole, and I don't think I'm not going to manage to carry on walking up with those, so we're going to walk on down.
That whole sole could fall off any moment now, and we haven't got some gaffer tape or anything like that to strap it back up with.
No.
So So safest option, head back, get back as soon as we can, and so we'll just have to go in the pub to drink some beer,
what
won't
a shame.
we? Okay.
What a shame. What a sacrifice.
Oh, we're heading back down the same way we came up here, and that spot where we crossed the bridge earlier, we're going to stop there and have a bite to eat. And the sun's out. It's lovely, isn't it?
Yeah, it's beautiful. It is actually. I think the wind's dropped a little. Or is
Yeah.
it just because we've dropped a little? Could be that.
Well, and maybe that we've got our backs to it a little bit more
maybe.
now. And that the sun's come out, so it feels better. Don't know if you can hear the bird song. Turns out we reckon that curlews were named because their song is curlew, curlew, curlew. We know that's the case with chiff-chaffs.
Yeah. Chiff-chaff, chiff-chaff, chiff-chaff.
So I reckon it's a pretty fair bet.
I'm going to ask Uncle Tony.
Yeah, we'll consult Uncle Tony on that one. Okay, so this is my Uncle Tony. He's speaking to us over this video link because he actually lives in Canada. And it's fair to say that he knows a bit about birds. Would you like to just introduce yourself, Tony?
Sure, yeah. I'm a recently retired professor at the University of New Brunswick in Eastern Canada, but more to the point, I've been obsessed with this since about the age of 7. Mm. And I've been extremely fortunate in being able to travel to quite a lot of places studying birds. I mean, I never thought this was possible, that somebody would pay you to look at birds when I was a kid. Yeah. But as soon as I found that out, I was off to the races.
We recently saw a couple of species of birds. One was the curlew, and another was lapwing. And right. There were various signs up on the moors that were telling us to stick to the paths and so on because it was breeding season. Right. And really, I just wonder what you could tell us about either of those species that could be useful information for us.
Well, these are both really interesting shorebirds. A shorebird is the kind that, for at least most of its life, spends its life on the shore. They feed on invertebrates mostly, but small vertebrates as well if they can catch them. But in the breeding season, they come inland to wild and lonely places where they can be as far away from people as they can, basically. And they nest on the ground, which you think is a really stupid thing to do. But on the other hand, there's nowhere else to nest on the moorlands, really. And the curlew is a large speckled brown bird with this incredibly long down curved bill. The beak seems to be designed for getting things like crabs in soft mud underground along the shoreline. They can pick their food off the surface as well, which obviously they have to do on the Yorkshire moorlands because there aren't too many burrow nesting crabs up there. Their endangered status is near threatened, which means they're not actually on the cusp of extinction, but they will be if things don't get better. So their populations are declining pretty fast. Right.
So what can we do about their habitats to try and prolong that for them?
Well, stop converting places that should be left wild into intensive farming. That's the bottom line. And stop converting most of the shorelines of the world to holiday development for rich people.
Yeah,
I mean those two things together. But basically, we need to get out of their habitats as much as possible.
And it sounds like that's good advice for a whole range of wildlife, not just.
It absolutely is. Yeah. Okay,
yeah, so how about the lapwings then? What's their sort of behavior?
They are such beautiful birds, aren't they? I mean, they're very smart with this sort of dark greens, iridescent coloration, this great top knot on top of the head.
Yeah,
and the very broad wings that really give them their name. The way they fly, especially in display flight, they flap around in a really floppy kind of way.
Right. Yeah.
But they have a similar breeding distribution to the Eurasian curlew. So from Europe, from Britain east into Europe.
Mm.
So like the curlews, they lay usually 4 eggs on the ground. And they feed on invertebrates, but usually in wetter country than the curlews do. And they don't have that long bill; it's a fairly straight bill.
Yeah.
So they're really picking things either off the surface or just beneath the surface.
Yeah.
And they too have the same status, that their nesting habitat has been taken over in many cases for agriculture, either pasture or intensive agriculture.
Yeah.
And pesticides that are used in intensive agriculture are not good for anybody either,
Of course.
especially the birds that would eat the insects.
Mm.
It's interesting with pesticides, because now we're not allowed to use pesticides that kill birds, but we're allowed to use pesticides that kill their food. So we can't kill them, but we can cause them to die.
Yeah.
Which essentially has the same impact.
Of course it does. Yeah. Right. Well, that's been absolutely fascinating. Really, really good insight into the world of these birds. That
Right.
as travellers without the knowledge, we see these in many other species, and it always sparks a bit of interest. So it's great to hear
From
the true knowledge to help us understand.
Well, I'm always happy to talk about birds.
Fabulous.
Just give me a chance, and the problems then to get me to stop.
Well, thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
You're very welcome back. Okay, bye.
Nice bit of picnic. Sat on the Trolls Bridge. Sarah laid down in some sheep poo. So we had a little bit of cleaning up to do. But that's okay, it's only sheep poo.
Yeah, they're vegetarian.
Yeah. There's worse sorts of poo to lie down in. Oh, what a crazy place to put a pub. You probably won't hear a word of this with this wind. It is rather an exposed spot. But look at that view.
Yeah. Welcome to the late afternoon on, I think it's Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
Friday of the bank holiday, Queen's Jubilee bank holiday, and we're sitting in a camper van outside Tanhill Inn, I think it is. Yeah, Tanhill Inn. And the weather is amazing. We've had a walk until my shoe burst. We're sitting here now. We're drinking gin and beer, our own gin and
Not
beer.
together. Sarah's drinking gin. I'm drinking beer.
Yeah.
That's not a cocktail we've come up with.
And we're having it's just amazing. And this is what it's all about, isn't it? I just love it.
I suppose this is
fantastic.
This is kind of what we dreamed about, isn't it? When,
Yeah, it is.
When we had the idea of building a van, you know, be able to just
pull up,
have a view like that out the door.
Yeah.
And we're gonna. I mean, we said earlier, so we've booked in for a meal at the pub.
Yeah.
At 7 o'clock this evening. We said, are we walking to the pub then tonight? Mm-hmm. It's not even 50 yards across the road to the pub, and then we'll get back here tonight, and this is home for the night.
Yeah, it's great.
Absolutely
great.
Incredible location, and we've been incredibly lucky with the weather, I think.
Yeah, quite a few camper vanners have pulled up.
Yeah,
parking up for the night. So yeah.
The Tan Hill Inn have an arrangement where you pay £10, and all that goes straight to a charity. And lots of pubs do this, where if you buy something over the bar, then you get to stay for nothing. But given the amazing location of this, they decided to charge. But actually, £10 is well worthwhile. I mean, obviously, there's no facilities. There's no anything at all, no electric hookup or anything.
Waste disposal, none of that.
But we don't need any of that, do we?
No, it's all good. Fabulous.
Cool. We're hoping at the moment that another camper doesn't park right next to us because
block the view.
Basically, we want to have that view in the morning when we're having our breakfast.
Ben said something about getting up in the night to do some filming because he thinks there's going to be a nice Milky Way out there for him to see. Yeah. This is in a pretty good dark skies area. So as long as there's no cloud or limited cloud, there should be a really nice Milky Way to see tonight. And one of the things I need to achieve is a fabulous photograph of the van with the Milky Way behind it. And this is one of the places we might achieve that. They sometimes actually get the Northern Lights, the Aurora Borealis up here. There's a famous picture of the pub behind us there with the Northern Lights behind it. We're not going to get that tonight, wrong time of year. And the night is too short because we're into June now, so we're very close to the longest day. So it's only actually dark for a couple of hours properly in the night. But there you go. That's why we've got to go to Norway at some point in the future to get the photo with the Northern Lights behind the van. Anyway. Cheers.
Cheers. Thanks for being here with us.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see you later. That was the Tan Hill Inn. What a great place. Look out for our next video when we're visiting the lovely town called Hawes and travelling on to the Black Swan at Fearby.